I wanted to show you something I found on online that might really help you with the second exam. I just did a Google search for Desmos graphing calculator, and I've used it in my other class, but not a lot in the functions and modeling class. So I saw that, and we have a parabolas deal that I can click on. And in module 2, there's a lot of questions about vertex, parabolas and quadratic functions, and whether or not you have a quadratic function, and so on and so forth. So what I'm going to do is I want to go flip back to my test review. Now the test actually only has, I think, 18 questions on it. Now I have, I'm at home on a very, very old computer, very old. So when I do a Zoom video on this computer, sometimes you'll see some freezing. So you can always do a fast forward and get through that quickly if you need be. Now, a quadratic function, this is our first problem here. Quadratic function, you can recognize it because those are the functions where you're going to see an x squared in there. Now, it could be missing terms, but it has to have an x squared term. And now, if the first leading coefficient is positive, then the parabola opens up, or it's concave up. Now, of course, we can graph this. Concave up means it's going to look like a U. Concave down is when it would be open down, okay? Now, I'm going to use my calculator to, actually, I'll just graph this and show you what I can do. My coefficients are, I have 3x squared plus 5x plus 9. So I'm going to go back to Desmos. And I said 3x squared plus, what's that, 3, darn it, 5x. And I think the last term was a 9. Darn it, I can't type. Okay. And I'm going to go back and look at my problem again. Here it is. Okay. Now, if I put in my equation and everything, and I didn't see a parabola. So I've found a few things that I can do. We can go to my calculator here. And if you don't see any parabola, now I'm using my mouse to kind of zoom out, and then I can zoom in. And oh, wait, right up here we have a parabola. So this is an example of a parabola. It's concave up. It has a vertex right here. Actually, guess what? I can figure out what the vertex is by clicking on the vertex. I can also find the y-intercept, okay, using my Desmos calculator, okay? So I want to show you something else that's kind of cool. I can also find x-intercepts. And so I will get to a problem real soon where I use Desmos to find the x-intercepts. I'm going to go back to my math lab. And okay, so this has a minimum point because it opens up, and a minimum point is the bottom of the parabola. Now, this parabola is in the vertex form. And we can type this in to Desmos calculator, but actually there's an easier way to do this problem. The vertex form of a parabola, and let's go to question help. Oh, it's not going to help you. So much for that question help, huh? But for your vertex in a parabola, it's 3. Here we have 3 times x minus 1 quantity squared minus 4. So for the first coordinate of your vertex, it's actually a positive 1. The second one coordinate is a negative 4. And if you're wondering how I came up with that, it's because a long time ago, we have what's called a vertex form. Okay, and you take the opposite of the number in the parentheses, and then the constant is the second coordinate of your vertex. Now, I believe though on your, I think on your actual test, there's like 18 questions, and I think most of the parabolas are going to be in the standard form. That's the ax squared plus bx plus c form. Here my vertex is 1, negative 4, so it's looking to me that's probably going to be choice B right there. Okay, I want to do a problem. I'm going to skip around and try to do a problem with where we use that Desmos to find our x coordinates. Okay, here's a good one, example. Now, you can do this without factoring, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to type this into my Desmos calculator. Now, so I don't forget what the problem is, I'm going to write this down. C squared minus 5c minus 14 equals 0. Now, you can find the solutions without factoring by simply graphing and finding the x-intercepts. And I'll show you what I mean here in a minute. Okay, so I have cx squared, well, or c squared, I'm sorry, which the coefficient is 1. And I have to think of x's. Minus 5c, or minus 5. And minus 14. Now, if I have my graph, I can click over here, and that shows me my x-intercepts at negative 2. The other one's at 7. You can also, if you needed to, you can locate the vertex and the y-intercept. That might really, really help you out when you're doing your test, the Desmos calculator. So my solution was negative 2. And what was the other x-intercept? 7, I think. Use a graphing calculator to find x-intercepts. Again, just go to your calculator. Here we have x squared minus 7x minus 18. So I'm going to go to Desmos, and I have x squared minus 7x minus 18. And here's my x-intercepts, -2 and 9, 0. -2 and 9. X squared minus 7x minus 18. -2, +9. I guess it doesn't want us to type this in as ordered pairs. So I am trying to limit my videos 15 minutes or less. But I just wanted to show you that here I find that Desmos is a lot easier to get through on the quadratic functions. And I didn't even realize that until today. And I I've been using Desmos, but I didn't realize, I've just found the deal with the parabolas. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to share that with you guys. And I hope that that helps. And so on the test, there are a significant number of problems where you're either solving a quadratic equation, you can graph that, find the x-intercepts, vertex of a parabola, and then I just found that I just started tinkering around with Desmos. So if you need to change a viewing window or something like that, I know you can do it, but I'm not quite sure how to get that done yet. So I'm going to send this out. I hope this helps you on your test. And stay warm.